Am I the a-hole for calling my girlfriend useless and not allowing her to spend my money? My male 29 girlfriend, female 27, told me she lost her job about 6 months ago, around the time I got a major promotion. Obviously, I felt bad for her and let her have access to my money while she was looking for a new job. I also shouldered all of our shared expenses like rent and utilities when this happened. Over the past 6 months, I occasionally ask her for updates on her job search, but she would always get sad and weepy and tell me she's working on it. But today, I overheard her on the phone with her friend, saying how she loves the stay-at-home life ever since I got my promotion, and that she knew quitting her job was the right decision after all. I was extremely upset and betrayed, and I confronted her immediately. She started crying and told me to stop attacking her when I was talking in a normal tone of voice. I lost it when she tried playing the victim. And I said she has been totally useless for the past 6 months as she does no housework because we have hired help, and that I would not let her have access to my money anymore. She screamed at me and called me a controlling and abusive a-hole. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Let her have access to my money. Info. You aren't married. Why did you do this? Not the a-hole. She quit her job and saying knew quitting her job was the right decision after all. She's financially taking advantage of you, emotionally blackmailing you to do it. Only you can decide what you are willing to put up with in a relationship, but this level of deceit and manipulation is pretty despicable. Let me rephrase. I gave her money whenever she asked, whether that be for groceries or occasional luxuries. She didn't have direct access to my account. Also, we have been together for 4 years, so I trusted her to use my money wisely. Info. Why haven't you dumped her? She's using you and gaslighting you. I haven't processed the whole situation yet. I'm still kind of frozen up. She's been my girlfriend for 4 years, so it's hard to just cut her out immediately, without considering my emotions and the consequences. But Opie, this is a huge red flag. I don't know how you can trust her going forward. I am considering breaking up with her, but life isn't so straightforward that I can do that so swiftly with no regrets. Our lives had been shared and entangled for such a long time. You just need to sit down with yourself and decide how you feel about being intentionally lied to, manipulated, and used for over 6 months while she laughed behind your back. Then, when found out, accused you of 2 serious forms of domestic harm. If that doesn't make things clear for you, I'm not sure anything will. Not the a-hole. You might not feel it yet, but your post suggests that you know already that the relationship is broken. You tell us that she lied about losing her job in her job search in order to coast you at your expense. What this breach of your trust shows is a basic lack of respect for you. Without trust or respect, you really don't have a relationship worth building on. I know. This literally just happened today. I need a minute to breathe and process my next steps. Next story. Am I the a-hole for using my wife's fun budget to help out friends and family? I am the breadwinner in our home. My wife has the much tougher job of being a stay-at-home mom and wrangling our offspring. She works hard to make sure we have everything we need. Our budget is pretty simple. We put away about 15% of my earnings every month. Then we pay all the bills. Whatever is left we split and we can use it however we want. I like to use mine to work on my hobbies or treat us to a night out. I pay for the babysitter and whatever activity we do that night. Meanwhile, she uses hers to go to a spa or to buy herself pretty things that make her happy. Every once in a while, she will ask if we can send money to her family. Not because her family's homeless or anything. They just earn less than we do. Like in November, she asked if we could give her brother $500. He wanted to get his kids a PS5 for Christmas. I think that was the last straw. I told her that we could, but it would be the last time that I contributed money to give away to people who just ask her for it. December went fine. But then in January, one of her friends had car problems and needed to rent a car to run errands and drive her kids around. And my wife gave her money. When she told me about it, I said I was proud of her for sticking to our agreement that any money she decided to give away would come from her fun money and not ours. She looked really sour and asked if I was really not going to help her pay for her spa day with her friends. I said yes, because I had spent my money on a new drone already. She asked if we could take money from our savings account to pay. I said no, because that is for emergencies and household expenses. She's mad at me for not helping her friend. I pointed out that she could have kept her money and driven her friend around on errands and pick up her kids. She said I was being a jerk and slammed the door. For the record, my kids and I are still playing games in our PS4 and Switch. She just gives away our money to be a big shot, and I don't have that need. Not the a-hole, but your title is way misleading. I thought you said the money allocated to her, but it was her that did that. She can't keep giving away money and then expect you to bankroll her vanity. Not the a-hole, but I think OP and people like you on this thread are being very uncharitable about why she would do this. When you grow up poor or lower middle class, the favor economy is critical to your survival. You help out others when you have money and they ask, so that when you get hit with a random medical bill for your kid or get into a car accident, you can ask back and avoid losing your house. OP is planning for a predictable future where they stay middle/upper middle class and are able to pass that status on their children. OP's wife is planning for the unexpected, where crap hits the fan and they need to rely on their community to avoid destitution. Neither is invalid, but they are at loggerheads with each other. The culture of mutual aid in poorer communities is a big part of why no one ever really gets out. No matter how good you have it for even several years at a time, you can never save or invest it because other people in your community are struggling, so there's never any ability to build wealth. She was going to a spa day though. It's not like she's digging into her retirement funds. It's just a trade-off she has to make. I came from a third world country with a culture like this, and I can say from experience that a comment above is stretching it. I had relatives who went bankrupt because their wives do this. Started from just helping with living expenses to outright shower them with gifts for validation. Not the a-hole. So she's happy to help out her family and friends when it comes out of your pocket, just not hers? Yeah, she's being an a-hole for expecting you to keep on footing the bill. The fact that date nights all come from his half just makes it even worse. Not the a-hole. Your wife cannot make unilateral financial decisions, especially if they aren't for any of emergency, any more than you can. If she wants to give money away to friends and family without questions asked, it's only logical that she uses her own money, the one she doesn't have to answer anyone for. She's throwing a tantrum because she didn't think you'd stick to the agreement. Let her. However, this will snowball if you guys keep the bad communication going. You issuing an ultimatum and her throwing tantrums aren't solving the problem. You need to have a calm and deep conversation about your views on money, expenses, and giveaways. Next story. Am I the a-hole for wasting money on a bathroom and not helping my brother? My 10th anniversary is coming up, and my kids are getting old enough to be a pain in the butt regarding our single bathroom. I have been saving up, and for my 10th anniversary, I am getting a bathroom installed in the basement, and I am going all out. Well, as all out as I can afford. I am getting a 2-person tub with jets, in-floor heating, and a heat lamp so my wife can dry off and stay warm. Anyways, the issue is that my brother is having money problems. He called me and asked if I could spare any money to help him out. He has a tendency to live beyond his means. We have similar jobs and salaries, but he has a huge house with 3.5 bathrooms. He drives a $150,000 truck that he will never use to tow, haul, or go off-road with. His wife's engagement ring cost as much as my motorcycle. Meanwhile, my family lives in a bungalow my wife and I bought. It was built in 1956, and it is cozy for us and 2 kids. My bathroom budget is $25,000, but it will probably go higher when the contractor starts working. My mom constantly compares our lifestyles. She loves showing people pictures of his Christmas decorations and stuff. And she shares his vacation pictures, that sort of thing. And now my mom is backing him up. She says that I don't spend any money, so I should have some saved to help out family. She's saying he might have to sell his truck or downsize his home. I told her that's not really my problem. He makes a little more than I do a year, so he should have savings too. She said that he needs to have a big house so he can entertain, since he wants to kiss Bud all the way up the ladder. That might just be my interpretation. I don't want to lend him money and watch him waste it and disappoint my wife. She deserves a bathroom where she can take long baths without the kids, or me interrupting to use the toilet. I could cut corners and lend him some money, but I really don't want to do that, even if it means he has to sell his stuff. Now for the comments. Could be the fact that I desperately want a second bathroom but not the a-hole. All the reasons you cited are additional points for why you're not the a-hole. But ultimately, even without any mitigating factors, your savings are yours, and you don't owe anyone a loan nor gift, since it sounds unlikely he'd be able to pay you back. If you get the chance to get a second bathroom, go for it, even if it's just one full, one half bath. I'm not entirely sure how we ever survived in our home with just one. OMG. There are only 3 of us, but a year we were stuck in an apartment after a natural disaster with only 1 bathroom will always be on my list of top 10 nightmares. 2 potties is the minimum for us. Not the a-hole. It will probably go higher when the contractor starts working. It will absolutely go higher. We were quoted right around $20,000 for our bathroom renovation. And let's just say that number steadily creeped up when we realized that the old plumbing is a literal nightmare on earth that very rarely meets code/current standards. She's saying he might have to sell his truck or downsize his home. As he should. Those are both options that grown adults would do, rather than expecting their lives to be funded by siblings. It is beyond time for your brother to learn to live within his means. Not his plus whatever he can bum off of you and other family members. It's too bad he can't just sell a bathroom to you. Sounds like he has too many. But he needs that extra bathroom with how full of crap he is. Not the a-hole, but knowing how families are, if you change your mind and help him out, get a signed loan agreement with a payment schedule and everything. Just cover your rear. I'm not planning on changing my mind, but I hear you. He can't pay his bills now. How is he going to pay you back? Even with a signed note, your mom will just say, "Oh, let it go. He's family." Don't disappoint your wife. Not the a-hole. I highly doubt they expect themselves to pay back to begin with. The way Opie worded it out, sounds to me they want the money without expectations of it being paid back to begin with. Last story. Am I the a-hole for not paying for my mom's surgery even though I have money for it? I, 35 female, lost my father very early when I was 5 years old. A few months after his death, my mother married a new guy we'll call John. John already had 2 teenage boys, and he didn't want to raise me because he never wanted to be a girl's father. My mother, like a good mother, abandoned me with my aunt and took my brother who was 8 at a time with her to live with her husband. John was a man with a lot of money, and he always spoiled my mother and brother, but he never bothered to get me even a Christmas present. My mother didn't do anything for me either. She came to visit me once a month and didn't even call me at Christmas or New Year. I always called, but many times she didn't answer. My aunt was a woman who couldn't have children. Because of that, she and my uncle raised me as if I were their daughter, not missing anything for me. Even without much money, I accumulated some from my job I had during high school, and I got a small sum from my aunt which was enough for me to pay for college. At the time, I graduated computer science and went to work in a good company earning a great salary. Then 8 years ago, I received a much better job offer in a large company, one well known for having great hardware products. At that time, I accumulated a lot of money and helped my uncle and aunt renovate their house, and I always sent them a nice sum, even if they told me to spend it on myself. Now, I currently live alone in a great apartment with an estimated value in the millions in local currency. Recently, my mom called me on my Instagram. As I post a lot of pictures of trips and fancy places I go, it's not hard to find me. She asked if we could meet to talk and reevaluate our relationship to forget the past and move forward as mother and daughter. I have a soft heart, so I took it. I thought it would be an opportunity for us to talk and finally create the bond I always wanted. We made an appointment at a restaurant downtown and met there. When we got there, she hugged me, kissed me on the cheek, and said she missed me. We talked about my life, and when I asked how hers was going, she started to talk about how bad her current living situation is. Apparently, she divorced John, and my brother didn't want to keep her as she is now poor. To make matters worse, she lives on a pension from John and has serious heart problems. After a while, she asked if I could pay for a surgery she needed. The surgery is quite expensive, so I told her I wouldn't pay as I wouldn't feel good doing that. She yelled at me in the middle of the restaurant, said I was a terrible daughter, and that I was letting her die even though I could pay for her surgery. I left there very embarrassed. When I told my aunt, she said it was my decision, but remarked that I have plenty of money to pay and that it wouldn't affect me financially. I don't want to do this because she never have been a mom to me, but I need to ask, am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. She abandoned you. You don't owe her a thing. I'm calling BS on the heart problems, by the way. The fact she abandoned one of her children demonstrates she has no heart. You're better off without her. I thought the same thing. Her mom would have asked for the money directly, rather than having OP pay the hospital bills. Not the a-hole. Your mom didn't want a relationship with you. She wanted your money. And she would have expected you to support her for the rest of her life. Yep, she literally abandoned her daughter for money. And she has the nerve to come asking for money? Absolutely not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. Today it's surgery. Tomorrow it will be recovery, then rent, bills, lifestyle, vacations, then home care. And you will end up restricting your lifestyle for someone who threw you away, so she could have the lifestyle she wanted. If she pops up again, tell her you are saving your money to help the people who raised you. You owe her nothing. Not the a-hole. Just decide with what you can live with. It's unclear if your aunt is your mother's sister or not. You may want to take that into consideration too. Saying all that, your mother clearly didn't care about catching up. She just wanted your help. She should have had more humility when you gave your answer. Something I caught at the end there is that her aunt seemed to be gunning for helping the mother. In any other situation, I would agree. But with the caveat that if the woman who raised you is asking you to help save her sister, consider it. They haven't asked you for anything even if you are helping them out. Saying no to her one ask because of your personal feelings has a cost.